Only in America can somebody say that they did something that someone else told them not to do, someone else took action to stop them from doing it, they overrode the action that the person took to stop them from doing it, and then turn around and blame the person that was trying to stop them from doing something for them doing it. Only in America. Check out Mitch McConnell.
On this vote, the yeas are 97, the nays are 1. 2/3 of the senators voting, a quorum being present. Having voted in the affirmative, the bill on reconsideration is passed, the objections of the President of the United States to the contrary notwithstanding.
On Wednesday, Congress voted overwhelmingly and for the first time to override a veto by President Obama. The bill at issue was a popular one for pretty obvious reasons. It's known as the Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act, and it allows the families of people killed in the September 11th attacks to sue the government of Saudi Arabia for any role that it may have played in the attacks. No member of Congress wants to be seen as opposing 9/11 families, particularly in an election year. President Obama and the White House, along with others, fought hard to stop the bill. They had done so repeatedly and over a fairly long period of time. In fact, when he vetoed the bill last week, the president sent a letter to Congress, this letter, very clearly laying out his objections, including fears the U.S. and its citizens could face retaliation in foreign courts. Now, lawmakers overrode his veto anyway, but then almost immediately afterwards, lawmakers started expressing second thoughts. 28 senators sending a letter to Senate leaders urging them to re-examine the law that they had just passed override, and warning of, quote, potential unintended consequences that may result from this legislation, specifically the very same consequences the president had been talking about. The White House described the situation as embarrassing.
So it's hard to take at face value the suggestion that somehow they were unaware of the consequences of their vote. But even if they were, what's true in elementary school is true in the United States Congress. Ignorance is not an excuse.
And you'll never guess who Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, who voted for it and whose whole caucus voted for it, blamed for what went down.
I think it was an example of an issue we should have, on a bipartisan basis, talked about much earlier, because everybody was aware of who the potential beneficiaries were, but nobody really had focused on the potential downside in terms of our international relationships. And I think it was just a ball dropped. I wish the president, I hate to blame everything on him, and I don't, but it would have been helpful had we had a discussion about this much earlier than the last week.
Okay.
I don't flippin' believe this. You're the fucking majority leader, okay, in the Senate, okay? You had control over the whole thing. You allowed the legislation to come to the floor to be voted upon. And you want to blame it on Obama, trying to say that we should have talked about this earlier. You assholes should have been talking about it, okay, while it was in committee and while it was on the floor. That's not President Obama's job. He did his job. He told you don't do it. You passed the damn bill anyway. He vetoed it, okay? It came back down to you. You had 30 days to have conversation regarding the bill being vetoed, okay? But you guys lickety split as soon as you got it, pretty much in 48 hours, overrode his veto. So how the fuck are you guys gonna turn around and blame him and saying we should have had more conversation? You had all the opportunity to have all the conversation you wanted, and now all of a sudden you guys wake up and smell the roses and realize Obama's right, and now you want to cry that he didn't do his job? Fuck you. You guys didn't do your job, because the one thing that you guys always love to do, no matter what Obama does, it's got to be wrong. Therefore, you have to work against them.
Wait. Just think about that for a second. The Senate passed the bill, okay? Then they sent it to the House, and the House passed it, and they sent it to the President. The President vetoed the bill and said, there are some real drawbacks here you guys should think about. Then they overrode the veto, and then Mitch McConnell said it was the President's fault for not telling them what was wrong with their own bill. In other words, Mitch McConnell went along with something primarily because it would embarrass the President, only to then discover that maybe that wasn't such a great idea on the merits. Does that sound like anything else that's happened in Republican politics recently? We'll talk about that ahead.
Exactly. These assholes want to do everything in the world to make Obama look bad, and now the shit backfired on their asses, and now they want to run crying and trying to blame Obama. Fuck all of them, including the members in his own party.